Hello, my name is Shriya Yarlagadda. I'm a first-year student at the college, and today I'm here with Dr. Jody Olsen, former director of the Peace Corps. Today we are going to be having a conversation related to Women's History Month, which we are glad to be celebrating here at the IOP. For my first question, Dr. Olsen, who are you?
I'm Jody Olsen, and I most recently was Peace Corps Director for 3 years. And I am here as a resident fellow at the IOP at the Harvard Kennedy School, and I feel honored to be here this semester.
It's amazing. So glad to have you. So, as I mentioned, today's conversation is about Women's History Month. What does Women's History Month mean to you?
To me, it is that opportunity to celebrate women through history. Now that sounds like a pretty obvious answer, but what I find in celebrating Women's History Month is that we discover women who had extraordinary leadership roles that we were not aware of. We highlight and we celebrate, and for me, it also says to young women, look at what you can do. And the importance of honoring women leaders and bringing more women leaders out into the mainstream of discussion is one of the key elements of Women's History Month.
Definitely. On that note, are there any leaders who have inspired you in your career?
I can go back to when I was 11 years old, and my aunt, who was head of Lutheran Social Services in Salt Lake City, Utah, said, "Do you want to come to work with me for a day?" Now that was before Take Your Daughters to Work, but she thought I might want to go. So I spent the day following her around. Again, I was just a little person then. But two things hit me. One, I wanted to be a social worker. I wanted to be helping the way I saw her leading, helping. But two, again, I was young. I wanted to run an organization. I watched her run Lutheran Social Services and I went, wow, that's something that I want to try to achieve. Secondly, I want to honor Eleanor Roosevelt because in the late 1940s, about 1946, 1947, she was given the responsibility of chairing the UN Commission on Human Rights to look at how to design and build a Declaration of Human Rights. She led the commission. She's the first woman to do anything like that. She spoke at the UN, and the results of that work that she led have driven human rights in the world ever since. The courage it took, the detail, has always brought awe to me and given me courage to reach out farther than I thought I would ever be able to reach.
Thank you, and you are an inspiration to so many women, so I'm so glad to be speaking with you today. Speaking of the Peace Corps has a long history of female leaders, beginning with Carolyn Payton, the first woman and first African-American director in the 1970s. What does it mean to represent an organization with such a strong legacy?
I am so proud of the number of women who have been Peace Corps directors. And what I found really important in having a number of female Peace Corps directors, because I traveled with other Peace Corps directors as well as my own experience as director, that as you travel around the world, most everyone that you meet with are men. And you're looking at heads of state, you're looking at ministry officials and ministry leaders, mayors, community organizers, they're almost always men. And to be able to come up and be very proud of who you are, introducing yourself, I'm the Peace Corps director, knowing that they're noting that I am a woman, gives that message to leadership everywhere in the world. We do it well, and we honor those responsibilities.
Amazing. And as you kind of alluded to, there aren't very many women in this field. How has being a woman, or just even expressing femininity, impacted your career path? How has that changed also over the length of your career?
Good question. I feel myself very much a woman, And I'm married and I have 2 children and I have 3 grandchildren. And so that side of me is a very important part of who I am. And then my professional part is as important. But I always remember in the professional parts that I am a mother, a wife, I have a family, I have a larger responsibility the way so many women have that responsibility. And sometimes it's a bit of a juggle with the two, but I really try to remember being a mother even as I carry on these professional responsibilities. I'm not sure how well I do either one of them on occasion, but that has been an important guide for me as I have taken on these leadership roles.
Incredible. Yeah. I know specifically the Peace Corps has a long history of working with communities to support sustainable development projects. And how does the Peace Corps work to uplift women in that work?
There are many ways Peace Corps does this. Let me start. In 1961, when Peace Corps first began, 2/3 of all the Peace Corps volunteers were men, 1/3 were women. Today, 2/3 of all Peace Corps volunteers are women, and 1/3 are men. All right, what does that say as Peace Corps works worldwide in 61 countries? Because again, in the villages, in the communities, with the host families, with the mayors, with the village chiefs, these are women, American women, that are modeling who they are to village chiefs, to mayors, and to the students that they are teaching. And they do it gently. Hopefully I did it gently when I was a Peace Corps volunteer. So you're not saying, look at me, I'm a woman. You're just being you as a woman in that community. And for example, being with a day in Chess, Senegal, with a woman who was a Peace Corps volunteer working with a master farmer. And she was about 5'1", and the master farmer was about 6'7". And here the two of them, you know, they would walk in stride together, they would talk in stride together, they shared ideas together, and she became an integral part of the farming team that was experimenting with new possibilities for raising different kinds of fruit trees and spinach. And I appreciated through her modeling how she was able to just gently share who she is as a woman. Second, a lot of Peace Corps programs reach out to women in the countries. For example, a Peace Corps program that began in the mid-90s called GLOW, which is Women, Girls Leadership in Our World, bring together girls from junior high and high school in the summer for about 2 to 3 week camps on leadership, on girls' leadership. Also, Peace Corps volunteers will encourage women to come to school, to stay in school, and will work personally with the parents for them to give the support for the girls to come to school. And of course, working a lot on English and on literature, on literacy, particularly with girls. And they do it one-on-one, they do it in small groups, they do it in local languages, they do it with trust and respect, but they're modeling behavior everywhere they go around the world. And I'm just so proud of what Peace Corps has been able to do, all Peace Corps volunteers, for women and girls.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear about that. And to conclude, do you have any advice for women who may be watching who want to be leaders like you?
Trust yourself. Trust your gut. Try stretching the edges. It's okay. You can do it. Now, as I alluded to earlier, it's not always easy because in many of my leadership roles, I also traveled. I traveled a lot. I traveled internationally a lot. I had a family. I was juggling graduate school. I was juggling family. I was juggling being director of different situations. And I kept wondering, maybe too many times, am I doing it all? Is it working? What about my kids? How are they doing? Did I get the part of the job done that I needed to get done? Did I do the travel part I needed to travel? The answer is I did my best, and it was okay. And I just stayed on it, and I did everything I could to trust myself, because sometimes, particularly, I don't want to generalize, but for many women I've talked to, it's like, oh dear, can I really do it? Am I faking it? Can I really do it? The answer is yes. You can do it. You can do what you need to do. You can do what you want to do. Go for it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. This has been a conversation with Dr. Jody Olsen. Yeah, thank you.